So imagine you are sitting in front of your computer. The little light on your webcam is glowing green.
Right, the classic interview setup.
Exactly. And the Micro1 AI interviewer, Zara, asks you a question. You give what you think is a really great, solid answer.
You feel pretty good about it.
You do. But then Zara does not move on to the next topic. Instead, she asks another question, a very specific follow-up question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and then maybe she asks another one. And for a lot of candidates, that is the exact moment when the panic really sets in.
Oh, absolutely. It is a very natural reaction. You are looking at the screen, you hear that follow-up question, and your heart rate immediately goes up.
It really does. You just freeze.
People naturally assume they did something wrong. They think, oh no, I gave a terrible answer.
Yeah.
Or they feel like the AI is actively trying to trick them.
Right, like it's trying to catch you making a mistake.
Exactly. They feel like the system is interrogating them to catch them in a lie. It can feel very stressful.
It totally feels like an interrogation. But we have been looking through a lot of information on this. We've reviewed user experiences and breakdowns of how systems like the Micro1 AI interviewer actually process your answers.
And the reality is quite different from what people think.
It really is. And we want to completely shift your perspective today, because those follow-up questions are not necessarily a bad sign.
No, they really are not. Zara is not trying to make the interview impossible.
Right.
A follow-up question usually just means the AI interviewer needs a little more information. It's just trying to fully understand your skills.
It needs a complete picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is trying to build a complete, accurate picture of what you can actually do in a work environment.
So our mission for this conversation today is to basically decode the hidden logic behind these questions.
I like that. Decoding the logic.
Yeah, we are going to break down exactly why an AI interviewer asks so many follow-ups. And once you understand the underlying mechanics, you can walk into your next remote AI interview feeling confident.
Confident and knowing exactly how to satisfy the system. That is the goal.
Exactly. So what is the most important thing to keep in mind right from the start?
Well, I'd say the most important thing to understand is that a follow-up question is not a judgment of your character.
It's not personal.
Not at all. It is simply a data fetching process.
A data fetching process. Okay,
Yeah.
Explain that a bit more.
Think of it like this. When the AI asks a follow-up, it usually means its algorithm found an empty data field in its system, and it just needs you to fill it.
Okay, let's unpack that. What is the first empty data field Zara is usually trying to fill?
Sure.
Looking at the material we have here, it seems the very first thing the AI wants to know is if your experience is actually real.
Yes, that is usually step one. Because, well, it is incredibly easy for a human to make a vague claim.
Anyone can say they're good at something.
Right. Anyone can sit in front of a camera and say, I have 5 years of experience with customer service, or I worked on complex data tasks, or, I handled a difficult team situation.
But those are just general statements.
Exactly. They're just words.
Wait, though, if I say, I have 5 years of experience in customer service, isn't that a fact?
It sounds like one, sure.
Why isn't the AI satisfied with that? Because a human interviewer might just nod, write that down, and move on.
A human might accept it, yeah. But an AI system operates differently. To an AI, a general statement is just a label.
Just a label, okay.
The AI is programmed to look for the real, lived experience behind that label. It needs to see the specific event.
So it's looking for proof.
Yes, it is looking for proof that the claim is grounded in reality.
I see. It's kind of like a detective. If I just give a label, the AI has to dig deeper.
That's a great comparison.
It is like a system requirement. If I tell a computer system I bought a new car, the system cannot just say, cool.
Right. It needs the data.
It needs the exact purchase date, the color of the car, and the specific receipt before it can actually save the file.
That is exactly how it works.
Okay.
Zara may ask follow-up questions to see if there's a real memory there.
Give me an example of that.
Well, a vague answer would be something like, I am good at resolving customer complaints.
Which has no proof in it.
Exactly. There is no proof in that sentence at all.
So what does a believable answer sound like compared to that vague one?
A believable answer sounds like a specific event. So you might say, last month, a customer was upset because their software crashed during a presentation.
Oh, that is much more specific.
And you would continue by saying, I spent 20 minutes walking them through the emergency reboot process, and we managed to save their files.
That makes a lot of sense. That second answer has a specific time, a specific problem, and a specific action.
Yes, it has all the necessary components.
It gives the AI the concrete data it needs to verify that the experience is real.
Precisely. And when you give that kind of specific memory right away, the AI is satisfied.
The data field is full.
Yes. The field is full, so it does not need to ask as many follow-up questions on that particular topic.
Okay, but let's say I do that. Let's say I give a specific event and the AI believes my experience is real.
Okay. But looking at what we know, some candidates still get grilled with more questions even after that. Why does that happen? What comes next?
Well, once the AI knows the experience is real, it often moves to the next layer of logic.
Which is?
Zara may be checking the specific details of your mechanics. It wants to fully understand exactly how you did the work.
Right, because strong answers in any professional interview usually follow a clear path.
They do.
You describe the situation, you describe exactly what you specifically did, and then you describe what happened next as a result.
Yes, the situation, the action, and the result. But when people get nervous, they tend to forget the action and the result.
They leave out the most important parts.
They really do. And instead, they fall back on empty buzzwords.
Like what?
They say things like, I am a fast learner, or I am a great team player, or I have strong communication skills.
I have to push back on that, though. Aren't buzzwords a good thing?
You would think so, but no. Because if you read any job description, it literally asks for fast learners and team players. If I use those words, shouldn't the AI give me a high score?
That is a very common trap candidates fall into. A human recruiter might skim a resume and look for those exact buzzwords.
Right?
But to a machine that is evaluating your technical or professional skills, a phrase like, I am a fast learner, contains zero usable data.
Because it is just an opinion.
Exactly. It is an opinion with no metrics attached to it. There are no tools mentioned. There is no measurable result.
I see.
If you say you are a fast learner, the AI code essentially says, okay, the candidate claims to learn quickly. Error. Missing evidence of learning process. Requesting evidence.
Ah, so using a buzzword actually triggers a data fetching error.
It absolutely does.
The AI has to ask for the data. So it might follow up by asking something like, can you describe a specific time you had to learn a new software tool quickly and how you applied it to your project?
Right. It is looking for a logical chain of thought. It wants to see the step-by-step process of your actions. Yes, the how. What was the tool? How many days did it take to learn? What was the final outcome?
So if you do not give the machine that data in your first answer, it will keep asking until those data fields are filled.
You got it. It will keep digging.
That is such a helpful way to look at it. It is not judging you, it is just trying to complete its internal form.
Exactly.
Which actually leads us to a really fascinating part of the AI's logic. Let's say you do provide a lot of specific details and data.
Okay, you fill the fields.
Now, according to how these systems work, Zara may be checking your consistency.
Oh, this is a major factor, especially in long interviews. In many AI interviews, the system has a perfect memory.
Right. It remembers everything.
It is analyzing everything you say in real time across the entire interview.
Think about that for a second. A human interviewer is probably tired.
Or distracted.
Yeah, they might be thinking about what they're having for lunch.
Yeah.
They will easily forget a small detail you mentioned 20 minutes ago.
But an AI will never forget. It compares what you say in minute 5 to what you say in minute 20.
And if they don't match?
If those two statements do not match, the AI will notice the contradiction immediately.
Can you give us a practical example of how someone might accidentally contradict themselves? How does the AI spot that?
Sure. Think of the AI's memory like a massive, complex spreadsheet.
Okay, a spreadsheet.
Early in the interview, the AI asks about your work style. You say, I am highly independent. I work very well on my own without needing much guidance.
Sounds like a solid answer.
Right. And the AI puts a check mark in the column labeled independent worker.
Okay, the math looks good so far.
But then, maybe 15 minutes later, Zara asks you to describe a time a project did not go well.
Uh-oh.
And you say, well, my last project failed because my manager was not there to give me step-by-step help every day.
Oh, wow. I see the problem. You're just trying to put a check mark in the needs daily guidance column.
Exactly. And the spreadsheet cannot have a check mark in both of those opposing columns.
That doesn't make sense.
The math suddenly does not compute. The system sees a logical error.
Wait, but what if the candidate just meant that that specific project was unusually difficult? What if it wasn't a lie, it was just a complicated situation?
And that is exactly why the AI asks the follow-up question.
Oh.
It is not saying you are a liar. It is saying, I have conflicting data points and I need you to resolve them.
So it asks for clarification.
Yes. Zara might ask, earlier you mentioned you work well independently, but on this project you needed daily guidance. Can you clarify how much supervision you prefer?
It is literally just asking you to fix the math error in its spreadsheet.
That's all it is.
That takes so much pressure off. It was not an attack.
Not at all.
Now, besides checking your data and your consistency, there is another layer here. And this one is very relevant to remote work platforms like Micro1.
Yes, the communication aspect.
Right. The AI may be checking your clear communication skills.
This is crucial. In a remote job, you are often working with people all over the world.
In different time zones.
Exactly. You cannot just walk over to someone's desk and explain a complex idea using hand gestures.
Or draw it on a whiteboard.
Right. So, clear, structured communication is a fundamental job requirement.
So, when the AI asks a sudden, difficult follow-up question, it is actually testing how you organize your thoughts when you are put on the spot.
Yes, it tests your structure under pressure.
But, is it really fair to test if someone panics? I mean, everyone gets nervous in job interviews.
It is a good question. But it is not about whether you feel nervous. It is about whether you can still structure your thoughts despite being nervous.
Ah, I see the difference.
The follow-up question tests if you can explain a complex idea in a calm, organized way. Do you break the problem down into clear steps, or do you just start rambling and throwing words at the screen?
So the actual ability to explain clearly can matter just as much as the content of your answer.
Absolutely. Let's say Zara asks you a technical question and you forget one specific vocabulary word.
It happens to everyone.
Right. If you freeze, panic, and mumble, the system notes a breakdown in communication.
That's a bad sign.
But if you stay calm and you explain the concept clearly using simple everyday words, you show great judgment.
You prove you can still communicate.
Exactly. You show the system that you can communicate effectively, even when conditions are not perfect. It shows maturity.
That is a great point. But that brings up an interesting opposite problem.
What's that?
What if a candidate communicates too perfectly? What if they never stumble, never pause, and use massive, complicated words for every single answer?
That is a growing issue, and it brings us to the next logic check.
Okay.
Zara may be checking if your answer sounds memorized.
Because these interviews are remote, some people definitely try to cheat, right?
It happens.
They put templates or AI-generated scripts on their screen and just read them out loud.
Yes, and to an advanced AI system, that sounds very suspicious.
Really, how can it tell?
Well, memorized answers or AI-generated scripts often sound robotic. They lack natural human pauses. They might use vocabulary that is too formal or dense for natural speech.
It is like an actor in a play.
How so?
If an actor has memorized their lines perfectly, they sound completely fluent. But if the director suddenly stops the play and asks them to improvise a brand new scene,
Oh, I see.
the actor freezes because there is no script for it.
That is a great way to think about it. And to test, if you are an actor reading a script, Zara might use a technique called forensic questioning.
Forensic questioning. That sounds intense. What does that look like in practice?
It usually involves asking why multiple times.
Just asking why.
Yes. It is designed to force the candidate to step away from their script and explain the underlying reasoning in their very own words.
So if my hidden script says, I used a new marketing strategy and sales went up 20%.
The AI will not just accept that. It will ask, why did you choose that specific strategy over the other available options?
Oh, that's smart.
A candidate who is just reading a script will really struggle to answer that naturally. They might freeze or just repeat the same jargon again.
But a normal person wouldn't do that.
Right. A candidate who actually did the work will behave like a human. They will pause briefly to think and then use simpler, natural vocabulary to explain their actual thought process.
Okay, we have covered a lot of the hidden logic behind these questions. I think we need to make this highly practical right now.
I agree.
Let's do a mini role play so you listening can hear exactly how this back and forth works in reality, and more importantly, how to recover if you trigger a follow-up.
I am ready. It always helps to hear the rhythm of the conversation.
Okay, I will play the role of Zara, the AI interviewer, and you are the candidate applying for a technical role.
Sounds good.
Let's start with a very common topic, a recent project. Here we go. Please tell me about a recent project you worked on.
Oh, well, I worked on a big data project. It was very difficult. I had to clean up a lot of information for the team, but I am a very hard worker and a fast learner, so we finished it on time.
Okay, let's pause the role play right there. If I am the AI, my data fields are completely empty.
I didn't give you much.
No. You gave me 3 buzzwords: hard worker, fast learner, difficult project, and absolutely 0 concrete data. I am forced to dig deeper. So I will ask a follow-up.
Okay, hit me.
Can you specify what tools you use to clean the data and what the final measurable result was for the team?
Yes. The database was full of duplicate customer records. I used Python to write a script that found and merged the duplicates. As a result, we reduced the database size by 15%, which made the search function load 2 seconds faster for the sales team.
Okay, stopping again. That recovery was excellent. Why does that second answer satisfy the AI system?
Because it fills all the empty data fields we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
The AI asked for tools, and I provided Python.
Right.
The AI asked for a measurable result, and I provided the 15% reduction and the 2-second speed increase.
The spreadsheet is full.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
spreadsheet is full. The AI probably will not need to ask another follow-up on that specific topic.
It shows a clear, logical chain of thought. Let's do one more role play.
Sure.
This time, let's look at a question about handling a difficult task or a mistake. This is where many people panic and try to hide the truth. Ready?
Ready.
Please describe a time you made a mistake at work and how you handled it.
Well, to be honest, I am a perfectionist. My biggest mistake is usually that I just work too hard and take on too many tasks at once. I just care too much about the job.
Pausing again. Wow.
Pretty bad, right?
That is the classic evasive answer. You did not actually share a real mistake. You just tried to disguise a compliment as a weakness.
It's very common, though.
It is.
Yeah.
But the AI's logic system will recognize that the mistake data field is still completely empty. So Zara will push back.
Right.
I understand you work hard, but I am looking for a specific instance of an error you made. Please share a real mistake and the exact steps you took to fix it.
Okay. Last year, I accidentally sent a pricing email to the wrong client list. As soon as I realized the error, I did not hide it. I immediately told my manager. Then I drafted a correction email with an apology, had my manager approve it, and sent it to the affected clients within 1 hour. We only lost one minor account, and I created a new checklist process to ensure it never happened again.
And pausing there, that was a perfect recovery.
Thank you.
You owned the real mistake. You did not make excuses. You showed exactly how you fixed the problem, step by step.
I gave the situation, action, and result.
Yes, you showed accountability and structure. In many AI interviews, the system will score that very highly.
I noticed something really important there. The follow-up question actually gave me a chance to show my maturity.
What do you mean?
Well, if Zara had just moved on after my first evasive answer, I would have received a very low score for that section.
Oh, that's true.
The follow-up question was literally a second chance to provide the right data.
That is such a vital mindset shift. Follow-ups are second chances.
They absolutely are.
But, even when candidates know they should give good details, the pressure of the moment can cause them to make simple errors.
It happens all the time.
Let's discuss the most common mistakes candidates make when Zara asks a follow-up.
The first major mistake is exactly what we just discussed, thinking they failed immediately.
Right, the panic.
They hear the follow-up question, they assume they ruined the interview, and their energy completely drops. They basically give up on the rest of the conversation.
You cannot give up. You just have to fill the missing data field. What is another common mistake?
Repeating the exact same answer again.
Oh, I bet that's frustrating for the system.
It is. If the AI asks for more detail, do not just say the same sentence louder or with slightly different words. You must add new information.
Give an example.
If you say you solved a problem and the AI asks how, do not just say, I solved it quickly and efficiently. You have to explain the actual steps you took.
Another trap I see a lot is giving answers that are way too long.
Yes, rambling.
People get nervous, they do not know what the AI wants, so they just start rambling. They talk for 4 minutes straight, hoping they eventually say the right word to make the system happy.
Rambling is dangerous because it destroys the logical structure of your answer.
Because you lose the clear steps?
Exactly. Remember, the AI is checking your clear communication skills. It is much better to give a concise, structured answer that is 1 minute long rather than a disorganized, chaotic answer that is 4 minutes long.
Definitely. Another mistake is changing your story entirely.
This is a big one.
You get nervous because of the follow-up question, so you suddenly abandon your original example and start talking about a completely different job or a different project.
That will severely confuse the system. It creates a massive consistency error in the AI spreadsheet.
Because the data points don't match anymore.
Right. Stay focused on the original story you started telling and just add the specific details the AI is asking for.
We also have to talk about getting nervous and rushing.
Yes.
The AI asks a follow-up question, and the candidate feels this intense pressure to start speaking immediately. They do not take a single breath.
They just jump right in.
They start talking before they even know what their action or result was.
Taking a brief moment to collect your thoughts is completely fine. In fact, it shows that you are a thoughtful, deliberate communicator. You do not need to rush.
But wait, if I pause to think, won't the AI just cut me off and move to the next question?
That is a very valid fear.
Because this brings us to a very technical issue, the silence trap.
Yes, the silence trap is a very real technical challenge in many AI interviews.
Explain how that works.
These systems often rely on voice activity detection.
Voice activity detection.
Yes.
Yeah.
The microphone is actively listening for the sound of your voice.
Yeah.
If you sit in total silence for 5 or 10 seconds while you think about your answer, the system might assume you have finished speaking.
Oh, no.
It will automatically cut you off and move to the next question.
That is terrifying. If I need 5 seconds to remember the specific tool I used, how do I avoid the silence trap?
You have to narrate your thinking process.
Narrate it.
Yes. You have to make sound so the microphone knows you are still there. Instead of staring at the ceiling in complete silence, you simply speak your pause out loud.
So I might say something like, that is a really great question. Let me think about my last job for just a moment to find the most accurate example for you.
Exactly. By saying that natural conversational phrase, you keep the microphone active.
And it buys you time.
It does. The system registers that you are still answering. You buy yourself a few precious seconds to organize your memory, find the specific data the AI wants, and you avoid being cut off.
That is such a simple, practical tip, but it could literally save your entire interview. Just narrate your pause. It is so much better than dead silence.
It really is a critical skill for interacting with AI systems. You have to manage the technology's limitations while simultaneously managing the structure of your own answers.
Okay, we have covered so much vital ground today. Let's wrap this session up.
Sounds good.
We started by talking about that sinking feeling of panic when Zara or another AI interviewer asks you a string of follow-up questions.
The dreaded follow-ups.
But hopefully you now see that these questions are not a trap, and they're certainly not an interrogation.
They are an opportunity.
Yes.
And you will present yourself as a highly capable, logical professional.